been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here with the Zero Duck 30 podcast. If you've been hunting dumb, we think you need to start hunting wise. No, but for real, if y'all been following us for a while, you know we've been working with the Huntwise app, and they're for your hunt planning, you know, your GPS, your social media piece, and you can't get banned from their social media, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess you could if you report somebody. But
yeah, but they give you, when you sign up with them, you get a lot of great discounts through a ton of manufacturers, like 50, 60 plus, a lot of big names in there. But if you guys want to take 20% off, use code DUCK30 and then use the link that's in this video, and then you guys will get 20% off.
Yep.
So today's guest, we're super excited to have on. It's True Southern Waterfowl, Alex and Jessy. And your guys' last name, forgive me if I say it wrong, but is it Gratton? Is that how you say it?
Yes, it's Gratton.
Okay.
Usually people pronounce it like potato. So.
Yeah. Usually we get Grafton, Grayton, all kinds of...
We're the Grayton potatoes.
Yeah.
we have the all gratin potatoes on today.
Yes.
Well, heck yeah, guys. Well, we're super excited to have you guys on. Just from checking you guys out topically and stuff, you guys got a really cool thing going on, especially as a husband and wife team out there, you know, getting after it. And with that being said, why don't you guys tell us a little bit of, you know, your background, how y'all met, how, you know, you got into hunting and True Southern Waterfowl came about, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, first, I appreciate you having us on, you know. That's very kind of you guys. But so we actually met playing co-ed softball. Yesterday was our 9-year anniversary of marriage.
Man, congrats.
Congratulations.
So I appreciate it. And but yeah, so we met playing co-ed softball. I was in the military down here in Louisiana, and we needed an extra female for our team, and Jessy played college softball, so it was kind of a no-brainer there.
Nice.
So that's kind of how we met. And then as far as hunting goes, I grew up in Oregon, and I did a ton of fishing. And when I got stationed, like I was stationed up in Alaska, so I did a bunch of big game hunting and stuff like that. And I actually didn't really get into waterfowl hunting until, I guess it'd be technically like a later age compared to some people. You know, they start when they're knee high to a grasshopper.
Right.
So I've been, I think it's going on probably 15, 10, 12, somewhere in there, 12 years. We'll call it 12 years for waterfowl hunting. And I've given up pretty much fishing, definitely big game deer. I don't even bat an eye at that anymore. And then Jessy, her family's always been into turkey hunting.
Yeah, big turkey hunters, big deer hunters, and I never went waterfowl hunting until you got me into it. It's completely different, let's just say that.
It's addicting, right?
Before the end of this episode, we're going to find out if she appreciates that or if she wants to kick him in the, you know.
Yeah,
A
no.
little bit of both.
Definitely a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So when did you guys start True Southern Waterfowl, and like what was kind of the inspiration for all that?
Oh boy.
So we started in 2015.
See,
Okay.
I'm glad that's why you have a female involved, because they know all the dates.
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
I mean,
that is so true.
I have a hard time remembering our anniversary. You know, I'm guilty. I have that on my calendar, so I'm glad I have Jessy here for that.
Yeah, so we kind of went and changed like a lot, because when we first started, it was as apparel. Which, don't get me wrong, you know, like we like the apparel side, but it just started to get to where it wasn't for us. So whenever I finally decided to pick up the camera and take like promotional pictures type thing, that's whenever I really started like liking what I do. So I started doing the photography side with that, and then just started getting deeper into, documenting the entire hunt. And then it wasn't till last year that Alex coached me into getting into the video side, because I wasn't really hot into wanting to video, because it really intimidated me, because it's a completely different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So then I finally started getting into that, and now I thought I loved photography, and I absolutely love filming now.
That's awesome.
Well, let me ask you this, and not to interrupt, but was there a moment, or was there a time where you kind of felt like you broke through the ice there, and you were like, man, this was kind of like the defining moment of me really loving this?
Yeah, I would say, because I didn't know a whole lot when it came to the functions with video, and I knew photography, so it's different. So whenever I was dabbling into it, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing type thing. So as soon as I started really figuring out the information and everything like that, and then putting it all together, I just was like, whoa, this is crazy. I don't know how I know how to do this, but I just, whenever you put everything together and you make a video out of it, and then people start responding to it, you're like, okay, this is cool. I like to make the whole entire story come to life.
So one thing that I think's intrigued me about wanting to talk to you guys is y'all are like a husband and wife, obviously, but me and my dad are also kind of like a husband and wife when we're out there,
Oh, yeah.
We argue and have these ups and downs, and we're kind of, really in a lot of the same ways. We have a similar kind of path y'all are on, self-filming, self-editing, doing that kind of thing, the YouTube thing. And there's a lot of challenges with that. And, I wanted to ask you guys, what is it always smooth sailing, that filming process? Talk about kind of what goes into your filming process, your editing process, and, is it always smooth sailing?
A little bit behind the scenes, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
God, no.
No, it's never smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's just say I want to punch him in the face.
I mean, we sleep together, we ride in the vehicle together, we hunt together. I mean, we are with each other. Sorry, we have a helicopter flying over us right now, but
oh, you're good.
We are with each other probably twice as much as. Hold on, let me get this by.
Oh, you're good.
Dang helicopter! We're sitting out here enjoying the beautiful sunset and whatnot. So
that's awesome.
But no, we're probably together with each other 365 days. I mean, way more than I would say your typical spouses are together.
Sure.
So there's definitely times when I'm like, hey, I've learned, I'm still learning not to tell the camera person what to film or how to film it. And she usually kind of looks at me, and depending on who's around, she'll either say some choice words, or she'll just kind of give me, or give me that 1,000-yard stare of shut up, I know what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
Let me ask you this, as you continue to tell the story, I just got to know real quick. Are there your friends and stuff that you hunt with, right? And they know you guys through and through. Do they get enjoyment out of you guys' little
spats?
Little tiffs?
Yeah.
I hope they do.
I know our friends do. They're just
they're on my side, though.
Yeah, they're we get people that are like, oh, dude, I love listening to you and your dad get into it. Or they'll all get me going on some crap, or something. But isn't that what makes it so fun?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And they are definitely on Jessy's team because, she produces the photos and she produces the videos. And they're like, "Hey, Alex, you're wrong. You know, just hush up back there." So, yeah, it's always a good time for sure.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. And you know, one thing, and you mentioned you're a ex-military guy. My dad's Navy. Tony is Navy, so you know, he's very. He takes that mindset to everything, so he's very like OCD about stuff. Whether it's decoy.
Well, that's why my name's HD Duck Hunter. I mean,
yeah. If it's a decoy spread, a camo, how good you're brushed in, he takes that to everything. And every once in a while, I'm just like, it just catches me wrong, and I get pissed off, and I'm like, just like chill out, dude. Do you guys, like, being from a military background, Alex? Do you kind of feel that way about stuff, or?
I'm just going to go ahead and say that everything that you just said is exactly like that is.
Yes.
And I'm about to just start calling you I call him a spaz all the time because he needs to chill out.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm like, usually I go to bed around, you know, because we have to edit and, you know, kind of look over the day's footage and stuff. And so usually I'm like downloading stuff, making sure batteries are charged. I'm her personal assistant.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty like
she's kind of chill.
But you got your purpose, Alex, because you know that nobody is gonna charge those batteries like you will.
Exactly. So I'm busy doing all that. So I usually go to bed around. I'm usually the last one to go to bed, and then I'm usually the first one up. I'm like, I wake up, you know, 3 hours before everyone, and I'm like, hey, you know, checking on batteries, make sure everything's green. And then I'm like poking Jessy, like, hey, you know, you need to get up and start filming. And she's like, no, I need about 10 more minutes. You need to just chill out. And then I've got the truck all loaded by then.
Well, you know, a friend of mine used to call it getting ready to get ready.
Yes, exactly.
Us military guys, we're always getting ready to get ready.
Exactly. So it's always fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're like the perfect assistant / host.
Yes.
That is great.
Well, one thing kind of back to the, you know, you guys doing your self-filming and editing and stuff. I watched like 4 different videos today of y'all's stuff on YouTube, and, you know, it's everything. Every time I'm watching your guys' stuff, it just scenarios ring to like what we're doing. Like, for example, this past season, we obviously want to get better with our filming and stuff, but, you know, balling on a budget. Like, we had a film guy come with us 3 of the hunts. The other hunts, we were doing the best we can on our own. And I noticed one, for example, Alex, I saw you did a diver hunt in Alabama, and probably the Bay or something over there. And then I saw some other hunts, like some of the spec hunts or whatever, that I could tell like your guys' film quality is really damn good. And I just kind of wanted to pick your guys' brain on like, what are you using for editing? Like, we use Adobe Premiere Pro, so I wanted to see what you guys are using on that end. But as far as filming stuff, like, what has your guys' journey been as far as, like, have you bought new cameras over time? Like, what are you at now? Does that all make sense? I just kind of want to pick your guys' brain on that.
Yeah, so I'll spearhead that at first, and then I'll let her take over as far as the gear and editing and stuff like that. But so that diver hunt was kind of pre-Jessy. Like, we had a lot of family stuff going on that year, and we had Dakota was you know, she was a newborn baby. Okay. So she wasn't able to get out as often. So kind of circle back on the YouTube thing. We had a buddy come over and eat dinner, and he's like, you know, hey, have you heard of this YouTube channel? I won't mention it, but I was like, yeah. And he's like, man, he's the greatest. And I was like, I feel like I could do that. Pretty much that's how I approached it. I was like, I feel like I know enough about the industry. I know, you know, how to kill ducks. It might not be the most glorious thing, but I can do it. So the first year I just grabbed a GoPro, and we had, what kind of camera was that? A 60 Canon. Yep. And I just set that up on a tripod. 60D. Yep. And I set that up on a tripod, and, you know, I was kind of self-filming and doing that kind of stuff. And then towards the end of the season, kind of when we did a spec hunt and a teal hunt with a guide service, you know, Jessy came, they called us and like, hey, we want you to come do photos. And that's when I was like, I kind of convinced Jessy to kind of focus on videoing,
Mm-hmm.
and she was still obviously learning what was what and whatnot. So, I'm kind of getting lost,
You're
but
rambling.
yeah.
No, that was good stuff.
That's great
though.
because it's telling us how it kind of evolved. So I'm not evolved, but how it started. But how's it evolved from then? Like what are you guys doing now? And I think like you were talking about Jessy can get into the gear and stuff. Like what have you guys? What's been hindsight's 2020?
So let's just say, like, gear wise, you started with a GoPro.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And did a lot of just GoPro, not a whole lot of like camera body style filming. You used the 60 for a little bit because that's what I used. That was my big starter camera for photography.
Mm-hmm.
And then the R5 came out, and I got that one on pre-order because I was like, I want that camera.
Is that also a Canon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the mirrorless.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the new. It was the new Canon mirrorless that they first came out with.
Okay.
And because now they have a R3, and they just did a R. It's either R5 or R3C.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the R5, and that's whenever I started really kind of like trying to dabble into the filming, like he was saying with the spec hunt that last year, but I still didn't really know a whole lot, so I just put it kind of in auto mode most of the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Autofocus, auto everything.
Right.
And then we
really sat down over the summer.
Yeah, we really sat down over the summer, and I started just learning everything I needed to kind of know. I'm not saying that I'm no expert,
Mm-hmm.
but because there's always something new to learn. But when it came to settings and stuff like that, switching it over made a huge difference, like for post editing. So that's what helped out like a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're now filming in like manual, like, or I say we as
full manual,
Right.
as in Jessy.
Yeah.
If I get a hold of the camera, all hell's broken loose. It's not good. But yeah, so Jessy's filming an all manual, which kind of puts it in like a gray.
Well, you call it, it's a log setting,
like
to where
log.
it like grays it out, and then you go into post, which you use Premiere, which they all do it, and you color grade. It's called color grade. So you do it to make it look how you want it to look.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn a lot from that, because when you put it in auto, it just kind of makes it like oversaturated. The lighting doesn't seem right, and just everything like that.
It's going to choose what green is going to look like.
Yeah.
Not counting trying to stay in focus. I mean,
exactly.
It's almost impossible.
Yes. So it's just like learning stuff like that just makes like a huge difference in everything you do.
And now we're running personal microphones on people.
Nice.
What mics what mics if you don't mind mentioning?
We use the Tascam lavalier mics. So it's like a personal. It records to its own SD card, and then you match it up to the video, which the sound is a lot better. You don't catch all the wind from like a shotgun mic, and like that mic's like right there with that person, and you can have as many as you want.
And it's day and night. Like honestly, when it comes to like when you're calling, if you get a mic up close to somebody,
it overpowers.
It kind of overextends it, and you can just sounds different. But this, you can get on a call and it just sounds like it's right next to you in real life.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when we made that switch last season, I feel like that's just taken our audio, to a different level. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're playing with the big boys in a sense.
And man, listening to you guys talk is like, it's so interesting. Like y'all's journey has been like, it's almost like we feel like listening to it. It's like stuff we've talked about this off season that we want to improve on. For example, we filmed this hunt in Arkansas. The last hunt we filmed was an 8-man limit, and we're there with the his name's Cade Weatherford. He runs Delta Thunder Outfitters. He's our good friend, and he was kind of telling us the breakdown of what these ducks were doing, and the fields were frozen and they were getting there late, so we didn't even go to hunt until like noon. And
Right.
but we noticed back when we were editing on that, we're like, damn, we got to get some like personal mics on people,
Yes,
because you hear all this
yes.
wind and muffling. So hearing you guys talk about your like process of how you've gone from, and literally you bring up the 60D, we have a 60D.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm hearing all these things, and it's like we're trying to take that same path, and it's good to hear you guys talk about all this stuff. It's educational for us, really.
Yeah, and if we're doing it, who else is doing it? And I mean, just what you guys have covered already is so cool from somebody trying to do it themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about trying to be more successful. And how do you be more successful? You follow the path of people that are more successful than you.
Exactly.
And
be teachable.
Be teachable and then be humble, and
No doubt. I mean, we'd be lying to you if we haven't reached out to some big names in the industry that, not all answer us, some help and some are.
I think some people just feel like if you help that person, they're going to, I don't know if they subconsciously think like, oh, they're going to be better than me or something like that. I just think that no matter, and this is what I tell Alex all the time, especially like with the photography, there can be tons of them, but nobody is ever going to be the same with it, because everyone has their own style of editing, of, shooting stuff. So that's how we look at it.
Yeah, that's
For
the
sure.
same thing we look at it too. Just like, we're not out. I mean, the more of a community that we can put together of people that do what we do, I think is incredible. Because, we do all, none of us are out there to say that we're the very best.
Right.
But we're all out there to say that, hey, we just want to be a part of your life, and teach you and show you what we do, and we know that you're going to deal with the same stuff, just being real about it, and I think it's so cool that you guys, I would have to agree that you two bring like such a different dynamic. You kind of remind me of Lee and Tiffany from The Crush.
Yeah.
And it takes such a unique dynamic to be able to love what you do, love each other, and and raise a family and do all those things. It's just incredible, that you guys do what you do. Go ahead, Tristan.
Oh no, I was just hearing all that and stuff. One thing I was gonna say is it's like, it's hard to, obviously, like, I don't have kids and stuff, but just thinking about it from like me and my dad's perspective, like we're always making that long 10-hour drive to Arkansas, and it's like, just, you're in the truck with somebody so long, and I couldn't imagine, like, it's not like it's my fiance, it's my dad,
Right.
And it's just like, just the little things like piss each other off sometimes, man. And it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to, it's definitely a balance.
Well, I'll give a great example of this, and guaranteed you guys have been through this, because as we all know, as veteran waterfowl hunters, is that one thing that was it Stevie at Mojo talked about? I don't remember who it was. It was a lady I was speaking with about how communal the sport is, and I'd never really taken that word and put it in my brain, I guess, to connect waterfowl, but it's true. It's so communal.
Yeah.
You get that with deer hunting, but but when you're not around camp, it's shh.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't move, shut up, be quiet. And it's such a different hunt than it is when you're in the blind with people and sharing the love of the sport, and just doing anything from dancing to rap songs to drinking a coffee, so.
For sure. And kind of off that, what does it take, guys? Like, if you were to give some tips to people that were, starting the YouTube thing, starting to film, give us some tips on, the road you guys have been through. What does it take to put together a hunting video, and just some tips on it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Loaded question, right?
Yeah, no, I feel like, oh boy, how do I say this? Don't have high expectations. in the sense of, so we have a very good following on Instagram, which we've had that now, Jesse said, since 2015.
Which, keep that point, because I want to ask you all about that like later on. But anyway.
So I was thinking when I started the YouTube channel, I was like, oh, okay, we've got 30,000 plus on Instagram. I was probably tooting my horn a little too much, but I was like, okay, people are just going to flock to YouTube.
Sure.
Because, you know, why wouldn't they? Or at least in my head, I was like, why wouldn't they?
Right.
Well, YouTube has been very humbling in the fact of it's so much easier, like on Instagram, to get somebody just to hit the like button real quick, you know, because people's attention spans are just like in and out instantly. Right. And try to get somebody to sit there and watch, you know, we try not to go over 15 minutes on a video. But try to get somebody to like sit there and watch a 8 to 15 minute video is very challenging, because I might be like, hey, this is the bee's knees. It's the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. And then I start looking at like the retention time, and it's like 3 minutes. And I'm like, ooh, ouch, you know? And so now we're trying to get it in our head that, hey, it's not like what we like, it's what our viewer likes.
Sure.
And so that's been a difficult point is, we got this dang helicopter flying over. Hold on.
What have you guys been doing around there? They're looking for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some search patterns or something.
Give us the military breakdown on the helicopter.
Yeah. So, trying to tell the whole story, and that's kind of what we've been talking about this summer, you know, right now, is like last year, like let's take the crane, like we did a crane video. We went out to West Texas and absolutely smoked them. Jesse's footage was absolutely amazing when it came to the birds working in, birds getting shot, slow-mo, you know, the whole enchilada.
Yep.
But where, you know, we sat back and really looked at it, where we failed at was telling the story about, you know, from start to finish, as far as like our experience, you know, with crane hunting. And then there's other videos where we focus more on the storytelling, and then just because we only have one person filming, obviously, we don't get the action shots. So, you know, we've been trying to figure out how to get a, you know, even
connect the dots.
Yeah.
Oh, the old infamous beautiful BRoll day.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Right. And then the ducks or the waterfowl don't cooperate. You know, I mean,
it's man, it's just like everything you guys talk about.
Yes.
We feel it so much. Like literally, so the first split came and went, and we were talking about, you know, hey, we've been doing kind of a shitty job actually, it was right after the second split opened in Florida. We had a film guy out with us and did the video and stuff, and everything he did was phenomenal.
Yes.
Like he does, like we were kind of using him as a contractor, like film, and then we did the editing, and he did a great job. But one thing we forgot to do is tell the story.
Yes.
We had a great hunt. Everything was awesome. It was just, it's like,
we were sick about it because you guys know as well as we do, you know, every once in a while, all the stars align, you know, and stars align in a couple of our videos last year, you know, with like Teal Heaven and us helping the other brothers and says, you know, I mean, just everybody, all the stars align. That does not happen very often, you know, and it's so tough whenever we can so relate to what you're talking about.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like we've had the stars align more often when the camera's not there than when it is there. It seems like, I don't know about you guys, but it's almost bad juju. You know, it just seems like we go through all the steps of BRoll, you know, waking up early, getting all like one day, you know, we were up in Arkansas and it was snowing. And so Jesse got out there and was like filming the snow coming down in front of the truck lights, and she filmed it in like 120 frames per second. So it's just beautiful, slow falling. And then we get out there. I don't think we killed a duck. Myself and another person fell in. It was absolutely miserable, and it's just like,
helicopter's gonna drop.
Yeah, this helicopter, man. Like, hold on.
You're good. But man, it's here again, the Arkansas thing. We went to Arkansas, and like I said, we do public and private there, and the second weekend of the first split, we were up there, had this awesome game plan, had the film guy with us, ready to rock. Like, we were smoking them.
Bro, I mean, we had it timed out. I went up there 2 days before and missed Thanksgiving, which I've been with my wife 28 years, so I'm with my high school sweetheart. At this point, she knows my crazy ass. And she's like, all right, you're going to miss Thanksgiving. Go ahead. And I'm like, Tristan, are you coming? He's like, nope. I'm like, all right. So
I'll be there after.
I'll be out there. So we go out there and get a good scout on and everything else. And even because everybody knows, it's not a secret that at least Northeast Arkansas, there was no water first split. I mean, no water the first month, really. And in most areas that would have water. And so we were out there timing stuff like, all right, put your tennis shoes on, bro.
Yeah.
How fast can you run across that flat? And you might even be running on cypress stumps. I mean, you're just doing everything you can to figure it out, and be successful. And man, we did. And the story was incredible, and the footage was so cool. And
killed 2 ducks.
2 ducks.
Yeah, 2 ducks.
Yeah. And had 50, 2 or 3 different times break and fall in our hole that we had fought so hard for. And guess what? It's public land, man. And somebody shot our swing birds, and it's just, you deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, we kind of, I don't want to say we lost our way, but before 2 years ago, we never hunted. I'm going to say 95% of what we hunted was public land. And then, if you could get permission on a farm or, a buddy that had some private land or, that's how we did it. And then, not last year, the year before, when we went with that guide service, they absolutely loved, in our opinion, it was a really shitty video, but they absolutely loved it. They loved it. So then last year, it was, it's rough on public land, and we were trying to figure out, hey,
I was trying to overcompensate. Like, I was thinking that I had to always get killer hunts. I put it in my head that I had to, and we just can't release anything that is crappy, but that's most relatable to a lot of people. So this season's going to be completely changed to, we need to go back to
our roots in a sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because, I mean, we, like, a lot of our videos last year are with guides. And I think we kind of gave off the perception that, these guys, they don't know how it is. They don't know what they're doing, in a sense. And that's the furthest from the truth, honestly. But we just, I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does make sense, because here's the thing, and I talked about this on a previous podcast, and I'm a little bit passionate about it. That's why I'm stepping up to the plate right now.
I like it.
You guys, gals, anybody duck hunting, I don't care if you hunt private land or public land, the ducks have to be there, and they have to want to be there, and there's so many dynamics. I mean, I want to wake up everybody and tell you that if you think you're going to pay for a duck hunt in Arkansas and you're going to go out there and shoot limits, no, you're not. And I'm going to say, no, you're not, playing it safe. All right. Because I just hate to overpromise and underdeliver as a person, and unless you go to, I mean, there are some places, don't get me wrong, that have some incredible operations that you can spend a whole lot of money if you want to go do that. It's one of the things we want to do. And I mean, everybody knows who Honey Break is.
Yeah.
Right? It's an actual dream of Tristan and I. One time, we're going to honey break, and you can expect those kind of results probably. But man, I mean, we hunted a lot of private land last year in Arkansas, and sometimes it's like trying to win an ass kicking contest with one leg.
Yeah. And one weekend in particular, guys, that like kind of, because we, doing the YouTube thing, we're kind of in the same boat. And like, so we went up to Arkansas after, like, it was, I don't know, sometime in December, like early December, like the second window you can go to in December. And again, had a good game plan. Me and my dad slept on the river that I'm not going to name.
Yep.
We got there at 10 o'clock, slept on the river. And, 4 o'clock, you can go into the WMA. We were first in line. We held it for our buddies. And that got a faster boat. So we got exactly where we wanted to be. Didn't shoot the birds, and then a crazy ass storm came in, so we're like, screw this, we're hunting with our buddy on private and his pit. And we shot a 4-man, and we're lucky enough to film that. But it's like, it's such a bummer because it's like we did everything we could to get this like public land experience. And I mean, I'm glad we got the 4-man video on private, but I totally feel you guys on that.
Let me ask you this, and then this is just resonating, and I'm sure you've been there, is we had a talk during those 10-hour drives. I think we made 9 trips to Arkansas this year. And we were on such a bad streak. I mean, we were kind of down. And I told Tristan, I go, the BRoll gets old. And I'm not trying to be negative, but point is, do you guys know what I'm talking about? When you're out there every day, you're like, I got to film this BRoll. I got to get this. We're in the gas station. We're filling up the tank. We're fueling the boat, whatever it is. And then sometimes you get in this routine so much that you forget to be as good as you could be with that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
You forget to be normal.
Yeah.
So as you were talking about that, Jesse just looks at me and just like mean mug me pretty much. Because I'm over like, hey, because you always have those, 2 a.m. gas station stops where you're filling up the boats and everybody's, taking their morning shits or, whatever like that. And I'm like, hey, Jesse, let's get out and film this. And she's like, we do this every morning. Like, I don't want to film this for every single hunt. And I'm like, well, it's not the same every time, but it is, it's pretty much the same. But yeah. Is. And so to kind of go back on what you were saying about the private hunt. So it was a veteran hunt. No, it wasn't the veteran hunt. It was our last day of the season last year. And my buddy was like, hey, I got us permission if you want to do it on some private land. They've been, they had like a 4-man limit the day before or 6-man, something like that. And he asked me right in front of everyone. And he's like, it can only be me, you, and Jesse going. And I like kind of like took a glance at everybody, and I was like, no, we're going to ride it with public,
Yeah.
And so we struck out on public land. And we were talking to the guy that went, and he ended up getting like 5 other guns, and they had a 5 or 6-man limit. And it's just like, kicking ourselves because, we had the chance to get, to kill ducks, and it's not all about killing. Don't get me wrong.
It's not.
But, it was.
I think that's the one where y'all both fell in.
I think it might have been where we fell in.
I guess it like stuff like that people want to see because it's. I feel like, and a lot of people, like, I know y'all don't know Alex, but he literally can have like a TV reality show on him, and everyone probably would laugh the entire time.
It would have to be on probably, I don't know, like MTV or one of the channels that pretty much allows anything to fly.
Yeah.
He's a character.
Yes. So.
I think, like we were saying before, the way has been lost, and we need to get back to, because that's how I looked at photography. I wanted to document everything about the hunt because that's what I liked about it. And it needs to be, I need to stop like overcompensating for like, oh, people have to see the killing all the time.
Sure.
And whenever we watch the crane hunt, like I watched it the other day and I'm like, I can see how this is getting boring.
Yeah.
You know, like, because there's like nothing, you know, like there's just straight killing and the birds coming in.
I mean, we killed 88 cranes. I mean,
yeah.
Dude, I felt like that a little bit honestly about our 8-man limit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were straight smoking them, and everybody wants to see that, you know. But
you think that.
Yeah, right. But what they really capture is, you know, like when Tristan caught us eating cookies afterwards, or me talking about, you know, just, I honestly, I was about ready to cry in the video because I had never felt so blessed in my life.
Yeah.
And he caught me talking about every once in a while, everything comes together, you know, and it's about those things, you know, as we all know. But it's so cool that, you know, at least sometimes when you have those days where, you know, you have those killer BRoll days. One thing that's cool about social media is being able to utilize that stuff to tell a story.
Yeah.
You know, and we definitely were able to do it. Dalton did an incredible job on that hunt. And even though we didn't smoke the birds, you know, I'm grateful to some of the stuff he captured.
Oh, me
you
too.
know, I mean, and we were able to share that with people, and they love it. And I'm sure you guys, same thing.
Yeah. And
for sure. And I mean, our oldest, she's 6 now. And we took her, twice or just one time last year?
Like this past season?
Yeah.
I think just once.
Just once. And
you kind of got to coach her back into it because she's losing the momentum to go.
Well, she's a lover, not a killer.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think we pushed her into it because we started her on a BB gun. And when we first got the 410, she did not realize the kick on the thing versus a BB gun. Yeah. And you could just totally tell on her face, like she was about to cry, like, I don't like this because it kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's intimidating. It's intimidating.
Yeah, so I think that's the issue is like when we took her, because a widgeon just landed right in front of her. And I'm like, Avery, let's get your first duck. And she was like, no.
I mean, they were literally 5 yards just swimming around in the decoys.
Yeah.
And they were just, I mean, they didn't have a care in the world. And I was like, you know, let's let it rip.
Some nice colors on them.
Oh, beautiful drakes. And she's like, no, I want them to have more babies.
Yeah.
That's
I really think it's, Dad, I don't want this gun to kick my arm off.
Yeah. I think she just used the baby thing.
Yeah.
But she was, you know, intimidated by the 410 youth. And I we messed up and we bought Boss 410 ammo.
Yeah.
So Boss already hits hard.
Right.
And then you put it in somebody that's, I guess, not experienced and not really ready to know what the kick is and whatnot. So,
you know, you bring up an interesting point, you guys, and this is something that Stevie talked a little bit about from Mojo. She talked a little bit about how women getting into the sport and how, you know, like the kick on a gun can be so intimidating and stuff. And, you know, us as guys, we're like, kick it harder, you know, I mean, make me look like an idiot, you know, I'm going to fall backwards. And to a lady, that can be so intimidating. And so what I'm thinking about in the same line is, how can we do a better job of making it more presentable to the young folks out there, you know, that are intimidated by that, and we don't look at it that way, you know what I mean?
And that's such a important, like, I'm listening to you guys hearing you guys talk about that. I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, my future kid, I want to, even if it's a girl, I want her out there duck hunting or deer hunting or whatever. And it's like, man, it's like, how do we?
I don't want to make that mistake that makes her or him or her not want to do it,
right?
You know, and so. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting way to approach it. Is just that, you know, you're not approaching everybody that you're influencing around you in the same way, because we got to present this in different ways that makes it more relatable to those younger people or women or men or people from different countries that haven't hunted ducks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, I guess, because what my dad did, because I had an old 20 gauge crack barrel at her age, and we went on a dove hunt, and he kind of just was like, here, like, take it, start shooting it. And maybe that's, because I didn't think twice of it. Yeah, sure. It kicked the shit out of me, but he was still like, let's go. Because it's like a whole group of, like older men. So I'm out there like, okay, I can't like cry in front of everybody.
Right.
So I was thinking that Avery was going to do that. And that's not the case. I was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have just thrown that in her hands and probably, maybe that's just how we grew up back then. Our dads was like, let's go, take this gun, start learning it, shoot it, figure it out. And now it's, let's try to help coach them better into not being scared of it. Because even if she doesn't become a hunter or anything like that, like if she doesn't like it, I still want her to understand everything about a gun, everything about knowing how to take an animal's life and to feed yourself if you need to,
Right.
And have to add to that, and have the respect for the animal.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of talked about, I hate to pinpoint the younger generation because I feel like I'm young also, but
it's
hey bro, you're not going to upset me. I'm an oldie.
But I feel like some of these people, like, I know there was a thing going on TikTok about they were putting like these stupid gold chains on these ducks that were wounded, and they were kind of like having them, like,
I hated that.
Oh,
bob their head, and it's just like, man,
we didn't grow up like that.
No, like, just
well,
put the dang thing out of its misery, and
Well, one thing that I've always, and I learned this from the person that got me into hunting, was I grew up as a deer hunter, bow hunter. Learned from, I can't imagine somebody being better than that. And, one thing he was so particular about was when you showed off your game, that you gave it as much respect as possible.
Yep.
And so when we would shoot a deer, we'd wipe the blood off their face. We'd stick the tongue back in their mouth. We would do these little things that, and if we go show any pictures of stuff, you'll see this, is that we're just giving respect to the animal. There's no reason to show bloody gored head blown off. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Show how beautiful that animal is, and, these guys, when I was first teaching a lot of these younger guys, I would line the ducks up, and, because I got to get all my ducks in a row because I'm an ex-military guy. And I would line them up on the edge of the truck or whatever it was. And I'd go around with a towel and wipe all their blood off. I would close their beaks. I would open their eyes. And when I do all this stuff and brush their feathers and do all this stuff, and these guys are, come on, come on. And I'm like, no, but guess what? To date, like if you look up some of the pictures I have, those blue-winged teal.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back at that and I'm so proud of that animal.
Yeah.
And I hope other people are too, because somebody would just look at a gory, blown up head of a duck, might not ever hunt.
Right.
Because they look at that and just go, God, or like you guys were talking about, those folks were doing, it's show respect.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Exactly. And it gives, I mean, the hunting, especially the waterfowl industry, I feel is so small. There's all these people
already hating us.
Yeah, against us.
Let's not add
add to the fire. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same thing with guns too. Like,
it is.
People need to respect it, and that's what I'm saying about teaching the kids everything you need to know about it, and just respect that thing, because it's not something that you play around with. Same with taking an animal's life. That's nothing that you play around with.
It's serious. It's not like you just go out there and just kill to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a video game. You don't hit reset and the animal comes back to life.
Yeah.
That's why, you need to make like sky busing. That's not a good ethical shot.
Right.
Sure, you can kill it, you can wound it, it'll probably, wander off. but then you might not recover that bird. And then it's kind of like, well, you know, you wasted it. So
Yes.
it's, you know.
No, that's good.
I love
stuff,
that we
guys.
brought this up because it's such an important part of what we do.
Absolutely. Well, to kind of one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, looking through your YouTube and stuff, you know, True Southern Waterfowl, you guys are really true to that name. Like, y'all hunt everywhere.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a favorite state you want to hunt? We're Florida guys. We started duck hunting in Florida, so when's the Florida video coming?
right. So what's your fave?
So I mean, to add to that, we've tried to get down to Florida a couple times because
we want the whistling.
We want the whistling tree ducks.
Yep.
We have them here in Louisiana. Like we're in South Mississippi. I mean, I'm kind of looking at Louisiana right now. That's how far south we are.
Well, we can throw a rock at it because we're on the border.
And so we have whistling tree ducks on our pond right now. And but as soon as you know, big duck season, you know, they're headed south towards Brazil and whatnot. So we definitely want to get out to Florida and experience that. But as far as like a favorite state, you'd have to go north. I mean, like we were talking about going to North Dakota this year. And the only reason we're even hesitating now is just due to the gas prices.
Right.
And I hate to even see what they're going to be at when it comes time for waterfowl season. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. So we might have to kind of go to a not so far north state. But we've hunted in Colorado, beautiful state. I mean, seeing the mountains in the background and stuff, and that was before, you know, filming and whatnot. But I would like to get like maybe Montana, Idaho, even Colorado again, like the Platte River. That'd probably be one of those states I'd like to get back out there and document it in our way. What about you, Jesse?
Yeah, probably that. And I'd say our second home's definitely Arkansas.
Oh shoot, is it?
Yeah.
I want to get out to like out west and get, you know, like a cinnamon teal or something like that, because I've got all the other teal. You guys didn't know it, but you guys are talking to the teal queen. Teal freaking queen here.
Oh yeah.
She we were in Colorado obviously several years ago, and it was like a flock of mallards coming in, and I was like, all right, Jesse, this is your shot. You know, you're gonna kill your first big duck. So she raises up, pow! She shot the one freaking teal that was flying with the mallards, and then it wasn't until 2 seasons ago?
I think it's like 3.
3 seasons now that, you know, she shot her first big duck was a gadwall.
Yeah, but the first day was all teal.
Yeah, like we went down and we scouted. It was down by Venice. We scouted, and it was just loaded full of pintail, gadwalls, you know, some widgeon. I mean, it was just loaded. And we're like, all right, Jesse, today or tomorrow is going to be the day that we end the teal curse. And then we go out there and we shot a 3 or 4 man limit of teal.
3.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just like, what?
In like
you know,
10 minutes too. Like the thing just came in back to back to back.
You know what's hilarious? You being the teal queen, I'm the teal anti-king, because I'm not kidding you guys.
It was like kryptonite to Superman.
So, you know, starting duck hunting, like, you know, we said we're, you know, bow hunters from the Midwest, and starting duck hunting in Florida, primarily what you're shooting is you get and I still haven't shot a mottled duck, but you get your mottled ducks, your black belly whistling ducks, fulvius whistlers, but your main like 3 ducks that you're gonna have an opportunity to hunt on any time are gonna be your ringnecks, your blue wing teal, whistling ducks, you know, and then mottles and green wings and everything else. So hunting in Florida, hadn't shot a green wing. I've been out to Arkansas a few times, never shot a green wing. First split this year, never shot a green wing.
Yes.
And I finally, towards the end of the season, started smoking green wings, but I felt like I was the opposite of you. Like, I couldn't shoot a green wing.
Dude, once he had the green wing magnet,
it
was like, who shot the green wing? Tristan did. I mean, it was just boom, 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 boom. They were falling. But isn't it funny how you can chase after something like that and just feel like it's your nemesis?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like we go up to Arkansas, and
Oh yeah, I wanted to shoot a speckle belly.
Uh-huh.
And I was going for the specks, and the snows came in, and I shot the snow, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always go for like the complete opposite of what I'm going for.
Yeah, put the energy out like opposite of what you're thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
What's on? Now I want to hear each of you say this. What's your target duck this year? What's the one that you're like, I got it, or goose? I mean, what is it?
Who?
I want lessers.
I want a lesser. So when we went out to West Texas last year on those crane hunts,
You have one, but
I
you
shot
want, like,
one
a
because it
big
came in
one.
by itself, but we had a whole flock of lessers. We didn't have any lesser decoys. We just had the crane decoys out there, and we were calling at them, and they were circling. And I was more excited in those 5 minutes of the lessers working than the whole crane hunt.
Nice.
And I don't want to like take away from the crane hunt because it was an absolute banger, but man, they're slow. They don't talk a whole lot. It's like, and then the guide kept yelling to keep your face down.
Yeah.
It's like it. If you guys golf, I apologize, but it's like playing golf.
Yeah.
And then like duck hunting's like driving like NASCAR for me. You know, like
Sure.
it's such a high, high pace, high energy, and crane was just kind of like you're at a tea party, you're just hanging out, so I don't know if I'll do crane again, but lessers, or I'm still after a widgeon drake.
Yeah, you don't have a widgeon.
I mean, I've shot them, but I've either destroyed them or they weren't, wall worthy.
Sure.
And I hate to say wall worthy because like we were saying earlier, every animal deserves its respect.
Sure.
So I don't want to take away from, if somebody gets one mounted as their first duck or anything like that, but
yeah,
you're looking for, I guess, a trophy widgeon.
No, I feel you, because the first one I shot this year was in Arkansas, and it's, I still got it in my freezer because I'm still debating it, but I'm like, man, looking at that $200 taxidermy bill, $250 taxidermy bill, and I'm like, I don't know, because it doesn't have that full plumed, beautiful look, but maybe I might mount it one day.
It comes to mind real quick when we're talking about the beauty of ducks, and I don't mean to throw a funny ass curveball here, but I'm going to. You guys, there's this video, and we didn't showcase it much, but we had a 4-man limit in Arkansas this year, and I had not shot a shoveler drake. It was just one of those things where I just never. Tristan would shoot him, everybody else shoot him. I couldn't shoot one, saved my life. So it was on my list. The shoveler comes in, and I see that it's a drake, and I'm like, it swings around to the right side. I'm on the far right of the blind. It's my shot. Boom, drop this thing. I'm going to tell you guys what. It was the ugliest duck in the history of ducks. I don't know if something was wrong with him. I don't know, but I'll try to see if maybe Tristan could grab some, like a photo of this thing, because it looked like, I don't know. It was terrible. It was the ugliest animal I had ever seen, and I was so still excited to shoot that thing, even though they're all going, oh my god, bro, I've been shooting shovelers all my life, never seen one that ugly. And I was like, you know what, kiss my ass, this is my first shoveler, get away from me.
Exactly. And I guess I would say that's probably another duck. I've shot plenty of them, but they've either gotten in too close or they just been an ugly duckling.
Have y'all shot a model before?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We've shot plenty of model. We're only allowed one here. I don't know if that's how it is.
Y'all get them in Mississippi?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Mississippi and Louisiana, they're they're down here obviously right now. But yeah, we get them. It's been a couple years since I've killed a mallard in the marsh, but we used to kind of get some mallards down this way. But yeah, we definitely, like, our target birds, if we're hunting around home is definitely teal, both blue and green, and then mottle duck, and then whatever kind of diver duck you want to throw out there.
Nice.
You know, from bufflehead to redhead, bluebill, ringneck. You know, shoot, I'm sure I'm canvasback, redheads. You know, I'm missing a couple, but yeah, that's our primary ducks down here.
I gotcha.
Very cool.
So what's on the horizon for you guys this coming duck season? You mentioned Nodak, you know, which may or may not be depending on the gas, but what do you guys got coming, whether it be videos or states or whatever it may be?
So yeah, we're gonna either go to North Dakota or Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma. One of those, we're definitely gonna get in there.
Nice.
And then we bought some property in Desark, Arkansas, for our camp. So we're gonna pull a camper up there, and so obviously, like we were saying earlier, Arkansas is our second home during waterfowl season. And then we're going to try to, you know, we use Pacific calls. And so we're going to try to get out west and hunt with them, hunt some big old Canadians. And
heck yeah.
But yeah, we're just like we were saying earlier, our goal is to really kind of get back to our roots. Hunt obviously a ton of public, and then just really tell the story of the good, the bad, and the ugly on public, and you know that our viewer can relate to.
Sure.
But yeah, that's, I mean, as far as this waterfowl season, what do you think, Jesse, for what we're trying to do with TSW and YouTube and where we want to try to hunt?
I think I guess we're just trying to go wherever, you know, like make new. We like making new friends, so
yeah.
That's our goal, really. You know, like to showcase what we do and to make lifelong friends to go along with that. Because, like you said earlier, it's such a community thing that you can't do that with anything else, you know. So you can, you know, have really good conversations, have good friendships, all while you're doing something that you love to do.
Oh yeah, you can shoot the shit in the blind, you know, and you like you were saying earlier, you cannot do that in the deer stand.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in a ground blind necessarily, but you can do it like when you're hunting big game. But like when you're hunting waterfowl, it's, especially when I'm involved, it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be I'm usually the one, like Jesse just posted something on TikTok, you know, like where's explain it, Jesse, about the white chicks.
Where's Alex, like on the dance floor?
Yeah, and I'm you know, dancing away doing something stupid, you know.
Or falling at least once every time we go hunt.
Oh, I am good for falling in at least once a year, if not twice.
Thank God Apple has changed their stuff to where it's like water resistant, because he would go through a phone every year. Every year
I was going through a phone.
Oh, we've all been there.
Hey, you want on that note? So this year, real quick. So we were hunting a flooded field, and I lost my phone. And I know that I had it up into exactly where we set up because I was using the Huntwise app to get out there. So I know that for sure I dropped it in this 6 inches of water. Apple, and I guess because they don't tell you that if your phone is 6 inches out of water, it might not read very good on the GPS rating. And it was showing my phone 3.5 miles away in the middle of a field, which we knew was not true.
Yeah.
And so long story short, I go to the Verizon store, walk in there, and tell the guy what happened. He goes, "Yep." He goes, "Typical duck hunter." And I go, "Man, why don't you kiss my ass?" You know? And he goes, "No, bro." He goes, "I got a solution for you." I go, "What?" He goes, "Buy an iPhone 13 right now. We're giving you a free Apple Watch." He goes, "Leave your phone in the doggone truck and wear your Apple Watch out there." And I thought, this guy's a gosh darn genius. Is what I thought.
That's super smart.
It
Yeah,
is.
he knows what's up.
Yeah, so that's how I'll be avoiding phone loss number 3 this year.
There you go.
Seems like a dilemma with us. We need to come up with something. We'd be like millionaires with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
That and every GoPro we lost in the water.
Oh my gosh.
God, jeez, yeah.
Y'all ever be hunting and you be changing out a battery in your GoPro or your camera? This happened to me, so that's why I'm bringing it up. I was changing out a battery in my GoPro, put my gun up, and these 2 ringnecks tried to land on my head. Like, they came around the corner, and like they were like 3 feet, like just in front of me. So I freaked out trying to grab my gun and dropped the whole GoPro and ruined it.
Oh.
Y'all ever have anything like that happen to you?
I hope not.
We'll pray for you.
Yeah, not yet. But I mean, it wasn't duck season, but I've had a motor fly off the back of my boat.
Oh,
Sink.
yeah. We
Fair
almost
enough.
had that happen.
Fair enough.
I still don't know how that happened.
Oh, we had
I'd probably cry.
we had our motor mount bolts all come off at the exact same time, and they were the what do you call it, the locking nuts.
Uh-huh.
So how does that even happen, bro?
I don't know.
Right in the middle of the Altamaha River, I had a 10-foot longtail just started to fall off the back of the boat.
Yep.
At 4 o'clock in the morning. So, but that's a whole nother story. But the fact is, we've all been there, and man, you guys, this has been one of my favorite podcasts. And Tristan, what do you got? You got something over there. He's like, hey, Dad, shut up.
So I wanted to ask you guys, out of your YouTube videos, if you wanted to say, hey guys, True Southern Waterfowl, you're checking us out for the first time, go watch this video. What video would you guys pick if you had to pick one?
One at a time.
I gotta look back in my memory box right now and pull it out.
No, you're good.
I'd probably say,
because y'all got a good.
I really like the birthday wish one.
Yeah,
I watched
I don't
that
know
today.
why, but I do.
I watched that one today.
I was gonna say probably the birthday wish also. But if I can't go with that one, I really like it's a toss up because I really like the crane video as far as Jessy filming, and then we had the drone, doing its thing, but we just kind of sucked on the story. So either that or one of the specklebelly hunts. I mean, I love our specklebelly hunts.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably go birthday wish. But we got 2 that we're still working on editing that they're gonna be pretty good.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Not to toot our own horn.
So we got
tooting your own horn.
So you guys just said we have 2 more videos to be on lookout. Now I'm gonna hold you guys to the fire. When can we expect those to be coming out?
Oh, jeez, so to kind of add to that, I used to just edit all the videos. Like, so Jesse's always done like the social media and like the short clips. And I've always done the full length YouTube videos. Well, we're switching it up because she has a really good eye for keeping people engaged as far as like the social media goes. So we've been kind of tag teaming these videos. So it's kind of taken longer because she'll edit it and then I'll look it over and I'll put my 2 cents in. So,
that's another thing. You had it in your mind that you had to like put these out super quick. And I'm one of those like, no, you need to sit on it and like, look at it and make sure that everything is like where you want it to be before you put it out.
That's good advice.
So
that is really good advice. Ready.
Like
aim,
I know
fire.
I know you want to put it out, but sit back and make sure, because then you're gonna watch it whenever it's already out, and you're like, "Dang, I should have done it like this."
Yes,
it's like that every single time.
Yeah, I will say that is because like I'll finish it and I'll upload it and I'll be like, "That's fire," and then she'll watch it and she'll be like,
"Why?
what were you doing right here?" And I'm like, "Oh, why didn't I even realize that?" And then so we usually will get it done and then sit on it for about, a week or so and just kind of, then we'll go back and rewatch it and be like, okay, yes, or edit this, or, vice versa.
That's awesome.
That is really smart advice, you guys, because you're really taking the time to think it out. When your emotions change, week by week, day by day, and you might feel one way about it one day and a different way about the next day, and that's great advice.
Yeah. So, and then we've partnered with some companies for this upcoming season. So we're gonna have to get those videos out sooner than later.
Heck yeah.
Just because we're against a timeline
of getting fresh
content for those partners and whatnot, if that makes sense.
Sure. Oh, well, we understand.
And one thing I wanted to ask y'all too is, it seems like just about, I've seen it in our personal Instagram stuff, but we had Buck Gardner on the podcast, and I've talked to a couple other people that are in the same kind of deal that our two brands are doing. And it seems like as soon as duck season ends, the engagement is nothing. Do you guys? So are you guys kind of fighting that uphill battle right now with engagement, like so many duck hunting pages are?
Oh, always.
I think Instagram it's changed a lot.
It seems like it.
I think, and I really truly believe this, like all the pages that have been around for so long, they're shadow banning them hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's just like you'll see just like huge dips one time, and then it kind of like comes back another time, and you're like, why? Like what? So I don't know if people are just now going towards like more of TikTok instead of Instagram. That could be the issue. I don't really know, because I feel like we're getting a lot more engagements with the TikTok than we are the Instagram sometimes.
Sure.
Like a lot of times. And it's like not even close to the following.
Yeah, like Instagram is 30,000 plus, and TikTok we have what, like 1,600?
No, we have 6,000.
Oh, geez, I was way off. I apologize to all of our TikTok followers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think I'm thinking that just it's kind of like the MySpace thing. Like maybe people are just like, I'm over MySpace. I'm over it. Let's move on to something new. So that could be. Who knows?
And it's I was listening to a video probably about, 6 weeks ago, and they were saying that really the only true way to get legit organic growth in today's social media world is on TikTok. And like we had a TikTok page, and it was half of it was my personal stuff, half of it was Zero Duck 30, and we got it up to several thousand followers. We were up to around 20,000 or something, and I got it banned. So around that time, I was like, man, screw TikTok. I'm going back to Instagram, grinding hard. And I was going so hard on Instagram with Reels. And, they say Reels are getting better than posts and nothing. And then now I'm back on TikTok, and that's starting to build back up. But it's almost like you said, it's just the engagement is so much better in TikTok. I'm about to I've been.
How many people have we talked to, Tristan, that have felt like they were shadow banned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're hardcore shadow banned.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We'll get.
I don't see how we have like
30,000
people and
we're only getting 60 likes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's bullshit.
I just don't understand it, because
like it tells us the reach is only like 500 people. I'm like, why is it only 500 people if we have so many people that supposedly,
And we've never paid for followers on Instagram or anything like that, so it's they're all well, I think they're genuine. I think there are real people out there.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was gonna add on to a little trick of the trade, I guess, for YouTube is people have checked out come end of December for waterfowl watching videos.
Okay.
So at least that's what I've noticed in my experience, is like come December, like the beginning of January, people are like, either they've had an amazing season and they're like, okay, cool, I don't need to see anybody else have an amazing season, or they've had a really shitty season. They're like, I don't want to watch anybody have a really successful season.
Yeah.
So they've kind of stopped watching that, and they've switched over to watching snow goose videos.
Sure.
And then turkey, and that, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
and
it's kind of
so,
the same with social media.
Yeah.
I guess where I was going with that is like we've tried to start saving our January videos for the beginning, like August, September, when everyone's getting real fired back up, you know, because they've been away from it. So
yeah,
that's one thing.
It doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, no.
I mean, what you've seen the numbers, you understand what they are, and you're like, hey, you know what? It's kind of like we're gonna take the Top Gun Maverick approach when it comes. I mean, a little bit. You know what I'm saying is that we want to save this for the ultimate views of our audience.
Yeah,
exactly. Because it's like, man, we have this killer video, and I'm still learning the analytics and whatnot on YouTube. But I would feel like if I were to post a killer video right there at the end of the season where people aren't as engaged, I don't know how YouTube goes about pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd hate for it to just not get as many views as I think it's worthy of it. So
sure.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting to hear you say that because, like, I would say with our videos, I would say that we experienced that in a way because I'm trying to think about how they came out.
Well, our best, it wasn't how we started, it's how we finished this year, dude.
I know.
And as we finished.
And our last two videos, that were great hunts and everything, they're sitting around like 400 views, and like our other ones might be around like 2,000 or whatever. And it's like you said, like the last like 2-3 weeks of the season, those videos are sitting there like
yeah, and you're sitting there going, bro, this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, like you said.
You know, good stuff. No, what else we got on there?
Well, that's pretty much what we had for questions and stuff, guys. If we were people to find you guys on all your socials and YouTube and everything, where would people go to find you guys? What's your handle?
Just True Southern Waterfowlers, anything and everything.
Okay, right on. Well, it's very simple.
TikTok is
easy.
Yeah, and that's kind of another thing that we experience because trying to make sure the name kind of went across all platforms and is as easy as to find as possible.
Yeah.
So True Southern Waterfowlers on, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook is True Southern Adventures.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's, how everybody would find us.
Well, good stuff.
And before we close out, just because I'm biased to ladies, because my mom being such a big hunter, I want to know from Jess, what is the number one tip you could give to other women out there?
Oh man.
Ooh, that's a big question.
It's a loaded question, but if there's what's been the most important to you, or what's helped you love the sport more, or whatever it might be. I mean, whatever you say is going to be valuable.
I guess just to just do it because you want to do it and not because you want people to like you type thing. Okay. Because there's so many women out there that try to portray that they're this or they're that, and we all know, how that goes. So it's, do it because you love to do it. Sure. Do I like getting out there and being cold and wet and, tired? No, I don't, half the time, but I absolutely love capturing that moment, and that's what makes me love doing it. Don't get me wrong, I like to, every now and again pull the trigger, but my thing is to get out there and just enjoy everybody's company and get a bunch of laughs out of, when everybody gets mad at each other because something's just not going right, or sitting around the camp. Just enjoy the little things instead of I need to get out there because I need people to follow me and like me and all this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
That is good. Good stuff. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. We know you got family life to get back to and stuff. And Tristan, where can everybody find the podcast and and follow us.
Well, yeah, thank you guys again for taking the time to come on here. And you can find us, as always, at ZeroDuck30. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing and liking and sharing and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next time.
And we will have these folks back on soon. I can promise you that. Thank you so much, you guys.
I hope so.
I look forward to
really
following you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I look forward to following you guys and keeping up with what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on a midnight train.